Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to my little corner of the world, also known as Night Terrors. I just want to say a special thank you to the people who have submitted their stories to me and given me a chance to help my channel grow. I also like to say thank you to the viewers who take the time to watch or listen to my videos, which also helps my channel grow. In today's video, I'm going to give you a couple allegedly true stories of haunted objects. So I hope you guys enjoy, and try not to get too scared. The Thing in the Mirror, submitted by Jessica. Hello everyone. I want to start off by saying, though I am a devout Catholic, I still believe in the unnatural. Most Catholics want you to believe that as long as you believe in God, there is nothing else to fear. Easier said than done. So I'm going to jump right into my experience. 2 years ago, after graduating from college, I moved into my first apartment. I lived alone even though I was dating someone at the time. I liked my privacy. Anyway, while out at a flea market one day, I came across an antique mirror. It looked to be very old and very beautiful. I asked the seller, how much would something like this run me? Surprisingly, I was told it wouldn't cost me much, but I had to move it myself. It was pretty sturdy looking. The seller also commented quietly that they wouldn't be caught dead touching that thing. That should have been a red flag that something about this mirror wasn't right, besides the fact that I could have swore I saw someone standing in the mirror staring at me, but when I turned and looked into the crowd of passerbys, there was no one with the same look, or anyone standing there staring for that matter. All I knew is I wanted it, and I wouldn't let a few weird red flags stop me. My boyfriend, who I'll call Tim, was strong. He was 6'5" and an easy 240. He picked this thing up like it was nothing and brought it back to our SUV. And it fit perfectly. Well, after the flea market, we were riding home on some back roads when I saw a car in our rearview mirror following us. I told Tim to pull to the side and let them pass. They were riding up our ass and it was pissing me off. But when we pulled over, the car pulled over. Now here's the weird part. I turned in my seat to look back and there was nothing there. But when I looked into the rear view, there it was. We were so confused, as Tim also noticed this, so I knew it wasn't me going crazy. We decided to pull off and continue, but when we looked back the next time, there was no one there. We brushed it off as being exhausted and continued home. There was also no car appearing in the rear view, and I was okay with that. When we got in, I had Tim put the mirror in our room. He wasn't too happy about it, saying that every time he looked into it, he got this weird feeling like he was being watched by his own image. Well, later that night, I awoke to someone whispering. I didn't understand the language, but I knew it was a female. It sounded panicked and scared. It sounded like whatever they were saying, in whatever language it was coming out quick and unaudible. I looked around the room confused. Suddenly I felt a hand on my side, and I damn near jumped out of my skin, only to find that it was Tim telling me to hush and look at the mirror. What I saw next scared me to death. There, in the mirror, was a woman. Her head was facing upwards. She had this frozen scream expression on her face, like she was horrified by something. And she looked as though she was underwater. Hair and torn, dirty white flowing dress, moving about accordingly. I screamed, and when I did, she looked right at me and just dispersed. Needless to say, I had Tim put the mirror in the hallway, and we tried to sleep the rest of the night. That morning, we put a free sign on the mirror and left it on the curb. Just as I thought, it was gone within a half hour. Now, I don't know who had the mirror, and I don't know if this just may be a coincidence, but several days later, there was a report on the news about a woman who drowned in her bathtub. When they showed a picture of the woman, She looked exactly like the one from the mirror. Was that thing able to predict the future? Or was it just me overreacting? The Creepy Bear, submitted by Benjamin. My name's Ben, and this story took place when I was about 10 years old. I'm currently 25, so I apologize if some of the details are a bit foggy. I had a bear that my grandmother gave me for my 5th birthday. We moved shortly after my birthday, so we packed the bear up in a box with another set of toys I had. Well, those boxes went into the attic of our new home, and I never touched them for quite some time. I never really paid much attention to it, but I was told by my parents after the incident that I am writing about took place that there was always odd things going on in the house. Noises like little footsteps that could be heard in the attic. Not the footsteps of a rat or a mouse, but the footsteps of a child's feet pitter-patting across the ceiling. My mother told me that one time she came in my room to check on me and saw me staring at the ceiling, giggling and pointing. And it was at that moment that she heard the footsteps as though they were running away, and I became upset and started crying. Again, I don't remember those things, but what I do remember is the incident for which I am writing. So it was 2 weeks before my 10th birthday, and my mother got the call that my grandmother was ill. She was in bad shape. They didn't think she was going to make it to my birthday. This made me very sad. I loved my grandmother dearly, and I couldn't bear the thought of losing her, especially not before my birthday. It was the hardest week of my life, dealing with my grandmother's condition and trying to stay positive for my upcoming birthday. She passed away that week, exactly 1 week before my birthday. I was distraught. I wouldn't eat or play or talk to anyone. I would cry for hours at a time. Well, a week later, my parents went through with a small family get-together for my birthday. I woke up that morning, and I felt like there was someone in my room with me. My bed felt heavy, like an adult was sitting beside me. But when I turned over, all I saw, laying on the edge of the bed, was my bear that my grandmother gave me for my 5th birthday. I instantly burst into tears and started bawling my eyes out. Well, I guess the hurt was so intense that not even the bear could take it. I screamed in horror as I felt the bear's fuzzy paw brush across the back of my head. When I jumped up out of my bed, I was immediately greeted by my parents, who rushed into the room to see what was wrong. My mother almost dropped right there on the floor when she saw the bear. "I thought you put it there," I said. She just motioned her head in a no sort of pattern while looking to the bear in disbelief. "We never took the bear out of the attic," I heard my mother whisper. "How did it get there?" After that, my mother took the bear and packed it away in a storage unit with some of our other stuff that wouldn't fit in the house. Needless to say, though I loved my grandmother very much, I wasn't upset about losing the bear. She was my everything, but it was time for me to let her go. Sometimes we take things for granted, and when we lose those things, we realize how much we actually needed it. But the one scary thought that we never entertain is what would happen if those things came back. Thank you for watching and listening to another episode of Night Terrors. And as always, folks, fare thee well.